Hello, and welcome to a very special edition of There You Go with Bryan. My most popular vlog to date is about the Alcatraz prison escape of 1962. To date, over 40,000 people have watched and enjoyed what I consider to be a mini documentary about one of the most infamous prisons and most famous prison escapes in the history of America. I have been asked repeatedly if I would do a follow-up, so today, by popular demand, we're going to make that happen. Today, we're traveling to the one place that any convict in the American prison system feared going to. In this special installment of There You Go with Bryan, we're going to the Rock, Alcatraz. The reputation of this place precedes itself. As you cross the San Francisco Bay and prepare to get off the ferry, I think it would be quite unusual if you didn't feel a certain sense of trepidation. How many men have made this trip knowing that the next time they leave this island, it very well would be in a pine box? Alcatraz Prison was reserved for the hard-case convicts. Maybe their crimes were excessively violent, or maybe they had tried to escape from several prisons and were eventually sent here. Nevertheless, the who's who of convicts who stayed on Alcatraz reads like a list of the most famous, or should I say infamous, criminals in the American penal system. Whether it was Machine Gun Kelly, Alan Creepy Karpis, or the world-famous Al Capone, who once said, "I'm a pretty tough cookie, but I believe Alcatraz has broken me." You would have to be insane to be sent to this place and not have a certain sense of fear creep into your heart. Never have I noticed the sound of squalling seagulls flying by the ocean to be so menacing. You also notice right away that even with the sun shining, it's still pretty chilly on the island. With the winds coming off the bay, it can drop the temperature quite a bit. You can't help but think of the three men who escaped the island on the night of June 11, 1962, only to be faced with a Herculean task of trying to cross the San Francisco Bay at night in water that was approximately 54 degrees. Now, I don't know if we'll solve the mystery of that 62-year-old question, did they make it? But I wanted to get a better feel for what John and Clarence Anglin and Frank Morris may have been thinking, feeling, and experiencing while they spent time on Alcatraz Island. As you can see behind me here, we're on the back side of Alcatraz right now. And the most popular theory is that the three escaped convicts came off the back and made it right over there to Angel Island. It's still uninhabited. Now, the main reason that people think that they did that is because they found remnants of not only the man-made inflatable boat, but they also found family photos of the Anglin brothers right on that island. From there, they would either have to swim or take an inflatable boat, or possibly have a Confederate pick them up and take them away to safety. If by chance that they didn't make it to that island and the currents were strong, it was 54 degrees that night. Remember, they could only last for an hour before hypothermia set in. If they didn't make it to Angel Island, they would have been swept directly out through the San Francisco Bay, right under the Golden Gate Bridge. The cell of Alan West. This is cell number 140. There's no head in here because he didn't put his on the bed, because he didn't make it out of the hole. He was one of the four who planned the escape but didn't get away. Possibly Frank Morris made it away because at the bottom of his cell, you'll see, he has a lucky penny. We're here at cell 150 and cell 152. These are the Anglin brothers. These are the two that made it away with Frank Morris. You see, they still have the dummy heads in there, and the back has been removed. I always thought it was strange they would have two brothers together, but possibly they were putting them in their cells by way of alphabetization. And if you behaved yourself at Alcatraz, with a little bit of luck, you would end up here in the recreation yard. Play some baseball, maybe a little shuffleboard. And it's very likely that the Anglin brothers and Frank and Alan West all planned the escape from this very rec yard.
But it's just not safe to the public. I'm gonna go up here and I'll just demonstrate all.
This is the part that has been of the most interest to me, because this is the backside of their cells where they would have burrowed through and then shimmied all the way up 3 stories through these utility pipes and sewer system. Now, a less talked about theory about how the escape might have occurred doesn't involve inflatable boats or anything like that. There's a theory that they actually came onto the backside of the island, right back here where the barracks are, worked their way down all the way over here to the back of the island where the boats would dock, right here. Theory has it that they may have tied a rope to the back of one of these tugboats and rowed it all the way to the San Francisco shore. Of course, the main difficulty in getting off of the island is getting past one of the many guard towers. There's 5 of them, and this is the one that would have been looking down as the men tried to attach themselves to the back of the tugboat and make it to the mainland. So after over 60 years, the mystery still continues. Did they make it, or did they drown in the San Francisco Bay? Well, you can see where they started, right up at the top. Cell block B. Shimmy down a drain pipe, coming all the way down the side of the mountain and making their way to the only place that you could really leave this island in an inflatable boat, right here on the beach of Alcatraz. A lot of people say they wound up in Brazil. I'd like to think they did. God knows they worked hard enough to get off the island, and I think they served their time. But who knows? Maybe they wound up getting sucked out under the Golden Gate Bridge. They might have died a painful, watery death. We'll never know. And maybe some mysteries are better left unknown. I'm Bryan Harrell. Thank you so much for joining us for another installment of There You Go with Bryan. If you like this program, please consider supporting it by clicking the Venmo or Patreon link below. We always appreciate you taking time out to watch There You Go with Bryan. We'll see you next time.